Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance was a treat. And what we got to do was play as Riku and Sora in a Kingdom Hearts adventure with sort of new worlds and some old, like, you know, Traverse Town. There will be
This
minor
world
spoilers,
has been
but
connected.
most of all, we're just going to talk about me going through and getting the platinum of the game itself. The Mark of Mastery, anybody could get, but make sure you watch all those mementos. The next thing you want to do is get good at creator, or you know, in this game you can collect recipes and ingredients for monsters and create them. And I didn't know halfway through the game that the red abilities you get can stick, and so can the purple. So those would be the two
There are
areas of
seven
the abilities
sleeping
I would fill out
keyholes.
first on
Unlocking
the
these will
monster
both
setup.
grant you
Master
new
Yensid is
powers
the only
and
master
free
able
the
to
worlds
test
from
Riku
their
and Sora.
weightlessness.
Master Eric is past,
Complete this
and Master
task
Mickey
and
I
return
don't think
here
is
safely,
qualified enough or
and
something,
I
and
will
Master
name
Aqua
you
is
both
gone since birth by
true
sleep.
masters.
But the story wasn't the thing that got me in this game. What got me through it was the easiness of actually being able to traverse new towns. The dive system here, it was pretty cool. As long as you kept on going forward and just speeding your way through it, you could get an A rank every time. But yeah, that's not all the necessary things you have to do. You will have a hard time with this one if you don't like the dive. I didn't have a hard time doing it, and I don't think many people
We
would.
are people again,
Lee is really great.
but only the ones who joined the
It's not
organization
Axel,
here.
even though
I
Lee's
guess
cool enough to
Xehanort
accept
doesn't
both
count.
names because hey, every
But
guy
Barra
and
Bragg and
that's hanging out with his friends
Isa.
get a nickname. Well, Xehanort really did brand him, which I feel bad for. And then we get into the Chronicles and more dives. And some of these I did not do so great at when I first started. I had to replay some of these dives over and over again until I got an A rank on all of them because I had to open up a Keyblade. And there's trophies in this game you don't have to get right away because some of them aren't needed. In your record section, there's a place that will let you level up, see your progress of game completions. But here I was just fooling around trying to figure out what these toys were for. I mean, I still really don't even know. It's just boosts your character's EXP, LP, HP, stuff like that. But I never found it really too useful. I just threw them away until
The
I didn't
timing
have
is
any.
too perfect, too calculated.
Here in the story, Master
Maleficent
Yensid
must sense a change in the forces of darkness.
figures out there's some
A
change in the
like
game.
Xehanort.
There's Riku and Sora on two different trips. They're not meant to find each other. So I don't know what kind of like
Forget it.
alteration it is,
You know what? I'll
but
bring him back myself. Huh? How
yeah,
exactly?
working together, Riku and Sora is not what they do. They actually just split up and hope they
Why
find
do
each other
I
in the end,
always get
and
stuck with
it
the
works out.
icky
But
jobs?
with the Marker Mastery exam and all of Dream Drop Distance, you got so much more details to other games. And this is the last Kingdom Hearts I've actually played because I played 3 before this, but then I played all the other ones as, as well. So I knew what the story was about and I knew how Kingdom Hearts 3 ended. But playing through this game, I got to see more in depth
Fine.
of the
Let's
characters
jump right in.
and what roles they actually play in because Kingdom Hearts 3 tied a lot of the loose ends up. And I could probably make a whole video of how many times Kingdom Hearts solved, or Kingdom Hearts 3 solved its predecessor's mysteries. But since there are multiple worlds, I had a question about returning to this one because now there's 3 versions of the mysterious tower. The one that they're taking the Mark of Mastery in, one Sora goes to, one Riku goes to. But we ended up getting all the trophies, and
Nikki, I was not able to locate Sora,
doing that was
but I sense
pretty easy.
Riku's
We just had to
presence
keep
in the
on
realm between.
going through the story until we get to
Trust
the
your
more
heart,
difficult ones.
and I know you will find him.
Because
Thank you.
after all,
I
this
promise
game
I'll
has
bring
a
them
secret
both
boss.
back safe
But
and
that
sound.
secret boss is really easy to defeat, and you get the ultimate weapon for it. I would have figured that the
You
Ultima
used the
weapon,
darkness to get here?
or Ultima Keyblade,
That was
whatever it's
reckless.
called, would have been on
But gosh, I didn't
an
expect
animal you could
to
collect.
save
They're
us.
called Dream Eaters.
Axel,
Axel didn't. My
Like
name is
evil.
Lee. Got it memorized?
So this explains nothing at all. You have to read the chronicles, and you have to go over the glossary, because you're not going to understand some of the characters. So that on a standalone game, this one would only draw you into all the other Kingdom Hearts. Only that, so you know that the characters in it actually had their like big story, because Kingdom Hearts is massive, it's huge. And I'd like to say that it's one of the greatest stories ever, because you're telling like a lot of stories all at once in a game. So that was awesome. I mean, we've seen so many Disney movies. There's been posts about live action. You know, what would you rather see? The Lion King, semi-live action, Pinocchio live action, Snow White live action, Little Mermaid live action. We could even have Maleficent or Cruella or Enchanted. There's a lot of stuff that has been done. We could sit around and watch Sora get older and realer until he is at the end of the road. But I don't know where Kingdom Hearts is going. But all I can say is that for my kids and stuff like other people's kids, it doesn't really put people in a bad position in life. It's just, it's a game. There's no violence really. I mean, you got a Keyblade. It's just, I would say 13 and up, you know, maybe even younger as somebody was playing it. The only reason I say that is because sometimes I've heard people complain that the heartless or enemies you fight are scary, but you get that a lot with kids. But I can see a lot of people having good reviews on this just because it's so made for a younger audience, and a plot twist that every now and then for all the serious people paying attention. So you can be fans of this and all of Disney's art, because a lot of Disney art is in this game. It's in all of the Kingdom Hearts. Then some of these trophies were just naturally won by me, which is why I didn't do a playlist of how to get this trophy, because I was just having my blind playthrough. The only thing I ever look up early on games is how to find missable items, because if it's permanently missable, I want to find out. The rest of the stuff I can figure out on my own, or I get aggravated enough to actually look up the mechanics of the game and find out what to do. The balloon system drew me in. I was like, that's incredible damage for the amount of space that it uses. Even Balloonga, which is really powerful, it only takes up one slot, which you can equip like 8 of them. You get the champions of all districts, and then we get the depths of darkness. I like
Together.
Xehanort's plan a little bit. You know, I think in the Kingdom Hearts 3, we actually seen him fulfill his plan. It's just his plan is to see what happens when another Keyblade War arises. And his fault, is it going to return to light or return to darkness or what happens? He didn't know, so he wanted to find out. At this point, I knew all the worlds, so we do go back to Pinocchio. We do have some new ones. We go back to Traverse Town though, and the world that never was, the Mysterious Tower, which is Melia Sympathy. After doing these portals, I found a pretty good weapon, Unbound, I think it was. The Keyblades didn't really matter, they weren't as balanced as they were in other games, because every weapon that you got ended up becoming better than the last one you got, it seems. I mean, there might be some ways around it, but in the end, it worked out. Like I said, I'd learned those red abilities before anything because they stick even when you're not using the monster. So like Combo Plus, Air Combo Plus, EXP Boost, Leaf Bracer. The only ones that stick, even the synthesis, or the monster abilities, the purple ones like Monster Link or something, I forget which ones they are, but they stack. Here I think I leveled up Riku and Sora to level 50 each, or close to where each of their levels equaled 100. I was now desperate to find a certain condition, and I got Droplet Magnet, but I was going through the forecast to find out where the secret portals were, because you want to complete all the secret portals, or they're called special portals, because special portals and secret portals are different. But I wanted to get all the special portals out of the way, because there's a secret boss that can get in the way of one of Sora's. So once I got all these champions done, after this one, I still had about 3 or 4 left to get in each of the areas. So that rolled over real nicely. I did have fun with this game. I don't think it was that challenging, which is good because Kingdom Hearts and, well, video games all in general should be aimed at a younger audience. Something your kids will play instead of, you know, getting in trouble. So that's what it all really boiled down to. But the Dream Eaters, when I got to the last 3 that I used, I realized it depends on your deck. And I was using a balloon, so all I had to do was make sure I had Magic Haste, Magic Boost, maybe some HP boosts, stuff like that. At this point I didn't figure it all out. It was a little bit later in my playthrough. And going through the special portal was the first time I had to actually look up where every special portal was, because it's so random. They're on random days in the forecast, and they're in random areas. So unless you like went into an area and tried every portal, you might not find all special portals. You would really have to dig. So I did look them up, and I found out where their location was, and it was the first time actually that I needed help. The attack commands were good. I got to use the dive and drain dive, poison dive, and all that. It was more useful though in the long run to use balloons, because it was so much like broken. Here I'm trying to figure out the challenges. This was for the world that never was, and each one of these trophies that I just got were me getting all the special portals for Sora and Riku in those worlds. End of Pain is what you get for doing the special portals. Oh, I had to kill. Okay, so now I looked up my trophy list and I was like, what trophies do I not have? And I found which ones I didn't have, and I went and completed them. Because that's Bullseye. That's what you get for picking up a barrel and killing, I think, 5 or more enemies with it. Then this one, I looked at the mechanics for because I needed to know what each of the machines needed in order to get this list. So I knew which one hacks I needed, and there's several. There's about 7 or 8 of them, maybe 9. And it goes with robots, enemies you fight, and just reality shifts. Anytime that you can shift reality, you have to experience all that. You have to do it every time. So I knew that was my barrel. Oh, this is a bubble, so you had to collect each enemy. See, there's a reality shift you can do in every world, and I had to go and get them all for the trophy completion. This is the Comic King, which it wasn't the hardest one at all. I think the hardest one I had was with the Super Hacker. I think I enjoyed playing as Sora more, which was sad because Riku is my favorite character, then Aqua, then Naminé, and then Sora. Actually, Naminé is probably my favorite. But she's the one that can't exist in nobody's heart. The enemies that you fight can often be created to join your team, which is an aspect I like, and I think it is a permanent Final Fantasy thing. I think that the Berserker job classes and even Pixel Remasters were kind of hinting that Final Fantasy can let you catch monsters way before Pokemon even came out. So, due to that fact that, yes, you had to collect monsters, Pokemon did its own thing, don't get me wrong, but Final Fantasy, you can't say that they ripped off anybody but Dungeons & Dragons. And Square Enix created Final Fantasy, created Kingdom Hearts, and it's created many games that I've actually really enjoyed. This one was the most aggravating because I actually had to do the side quest. Later on, it hits you that doing the quest and then using an item and then exiting out is faster. But here I had to actually play the game. Then later on afterwards I would just exit out and get rewards right away rather than play the entire game. So it was all a time strain right there. Finally got all those stupid trophies that I think is brilliant because it took a long time for Square Enix to code this stuff. It took a long time for me to master, and that's what I buy Square Enix games. It's because they're so much better. Here I was just definitely going over the fast ones first, because the slow ones don't give you enough points. So I knew that I had to go for the fast enemies. It was almost time for me to quit playing Click Rush, and the thing about it was I ended up getting to level 20, but then I had to play excess because I didn't realize that there was 3 recipes in Flicker Rush that happen after you complete everything. So I didn't even save my medals. I kept on buying random treasures just because I wanted them. And then I had to replay and get like 6,000 points to get 3 recipes. In the end, it was Chain of Memories all over again with this mini game, the Flick Rush. It was a nice way of adding some nostalgia, or whatever you call it, to the mix, because, yeah, nostalgic reasons it was there. So I never had a problem with the slights and Chain of Memories, but I do prefer this one, and this setup, it's perfect because it's the same one from Birth by Sleep, but limited because technically Sora and Riku aren't Keyblade Masters yet. I think in Kingdom Hearts 3 it does state that Terra and Ventus are masters as well, because I don't know. I know they're not masters because I've never seen them on screen get their market mastery, except for Aqua, Mickey. Yeah. And for a long time I swore that Riku was going to be a bad guy. I knew he was going to have a redeeming arc in the first game because, you know, they showed his dark side, and then if they were ever going to make a sequel, I knew it was going to be him slowly transgressing the light. It's just waited on. I think this was my last Moogle shop, and then it came down to the records, and this is what Kingdom Hearts, when you buy a game, it all comes down to the records and with the platinum, because in order to get Jiminy's journal or anything else that you have unlocked, you have to complete usually all of them. So you have to fight every enemy. Pretty much anything that you have to do in the game, you have to do it in the records. This one was different. There was the trophy list, which I didn't have to do. When I got the Secrets of Secrets, or Seeker of Secrets trophy, I got a Keyblade. Storyteller? Don't really remember. I guess I got that for completing and making one of every enemy. Which there are a few that are better than the rest. I don't know the best because I didn't really look it up. I didn't have a problem with the mechanics on that one. This is what I'm talking about. You need those gold emblems, and when you get them all, you know you platinum the game if you don't pay attention to your trophies. If not, look up your trophies and see which ones you're missing and challenge yourself. You bought the game, it was expensive. You might as well join the kids that can do it, because my days of gaming might be limited. I might lose interest, and it's not something I wanted to lose interest in. It's just when you get over 20, it's a little bit different. You got a lot more different priorities in life than video gaming. And yeah, I had to fight this frog, which was pretty tough, I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't at this point in the game. I had too much stuff maxed up. I think I was on the hardest mode that you can start off on default, but I did unlock a mode that was, I think it's called critical, and that was nice. So this was my review. In the end, Riku ends up becoming a Keyblade Master, and Sora does not, which he's not a Keyblade Master in Kingdom Hearts 3 either, but in my eyes, a retrial, because Riku started off on such a dark path. Yeah, here's what I'm talking about, where getting the items to do these mini games and just quitting. When you do this, their affinity should get maxed up, because if you max their event affinity or get it high, then you get more bonuses for every item you use. So that helped me out a lot, is to know that the little pink number that shows up with the heart, that helps make these rewards for doing every mini game go up. As far as I know, that's all I've been able to find out on Infinity. There's a lot of things I don't know, but it's just because I think I've played so much Kingdom Hearts that it really wasn't hard for me to just pick this game up and play it. It's got to be one of the easier ones in the franchise. Kingdom Hearts 3 was another one that I had no problem with and no difficulty with at all. Some of the early ones, I don't know if it's because it was on old platforms, but they were more difficult. Anyways, that was my story of how I got the Dream Drop Distance and my review, my input. It's a good game, and it will leave you with the lingering to know more of the characters' setups and stuff, but otherwise, good game. The enemies you fight never level up, so the World That Never Was is one of the better places to get EXP. But there's the Kindred Spirits and then my Platinum Trophy, and at this point I knew that I was definitely going to be able to do it because I just had to max out my character's affinity. And I came here to the World That Never Was, toughest enemies in the game. I figured they'd help the most. So thank you for watching. Y'all have a good day and good night. Bye bye.
Yeah.